The most dangerous advice you get at 18 usually sounds like good advice. But what if I was to tell you that's exactly what makes it dangerous? It sounds like something your parents, friends, or teachers would somewhat agree with. Follow your passion, go uni, go get a job, enjoy your youth and stop caring what other people think. These are all good pieces of advice. That's what makes it so hard to decipher between what is good and what is bad advice for where you are in life right now. Bad advice tells you what to do. Good advice tells you how to think.
Wow.
Stick with me and let me land. The plan for this video is I'm going to split it into 3 different parts and we're going to go through it. Basically, we're kind of myth busting here. Right, so let's call this Act 1. Now, the first point I'm going to get onto is something I call the direction trap. You are young, you have ambition, but you do not know fully where you're going. And that's 99% of us, let's be honest. Let me break this down a little bit further. Follow your passion. You start chasing whatever excites you this week. Monday, you're setting up a clothing brand. Tuesday, you're a fitness influencer. Wednesday, you got a podcast. And Thursday, you pick up the habit of trading.
All right, I get it.
As soon as you're about to build something or something starts to feel productive, it gets boring again. Let me put it to you this way. Passion is like a spark. A spark can start the fire, but it can't cook the meal. Follow a passion that you actually care enough about to build the skills around it and make it something worthwhile. Pick one skill and give it an honest 90 days. And once you can prove that it is something that you want to do, your direction and purpose will find itself. So the next piece of advice, you always hear, especially when you're at sixth form or high school, go uni, it opens doors. But some people hear this as a degree equals automatic progress. The path is what is expected of us, so it feels safe. A serious looking path doesn't automatically mean it's the right path for you. And say you do want to go uni and you're very passionate about it, you've got to ask yourself questions. Am I actually choosing this myself, or am I just waiting in a queue and following the natural path? University is like a train ticket. It can be useful if you know where it's going. But buying a ticket because everyone else is at the station buying one too, that's not a plan, that's no direction. Now, the next piece of advice that I want to touch on, which kind of naturally follows this progression, getting a stable job. You don't take those small risks anymore. You stop learning anything new and you stop building, and the job is there just to fill in the day. I mean, it does depend on your field. And look, I don't blame anyone for wanting a stable job. A stable job is like a house foundation. But nobody builds the foundation and says, yo, I live here now. Use that stability to fund your growth. Fund your skills, fund your health. Keep looking for opportunities everywhere you go. Now, the 3 bits of advice I gave here were follow your passion, go uni, and get a stable job. Now, all this is grouped together because this advice only helps when you know exactly where you want to go. Find your actual purpose and then go through that path yourself. This is all up to you, and the life you want to live is all in your hands.
Sensational. That's the word you're looking for.
So the first act was all about passion. Act 2 is all about freedom. Now, before you say, what the hell is this guy talking about? Let me land. The first piece of advice I'm going to tackle here is, you're young. Just enjoy yourself. There is truth in this. You shouldn't be a weirdo and just stay at home, sit in your room all day. That shit isn't self-improvement. You are just being boring. I'm going to say it straight up. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is you want that balance. Think of it like this. Your youth and the energy you have right now is like a full battery. Use that shit to enjoy your life. Explore, build, train, eat, sleep, but at least keep that one non-negotiable habit. For example, in summer, my non-negotiable is training. Now, the next piece of advice I'm going to get to is when people tell you to stop caring what other people think. Everyone's a hater. Ignore their criticism. Ignore their feedback. That's not building any confidence, bro. That's building ego. You want to post something. You want to dress better. You want to be more confident. But then you start imagining other people judging you. And that leads you to ultimately do nothing. The skill in this is deciding whose opinions actually matter to you. Sometimes your parents' opinion isn't the best opinion. I hate to say it. Now, the third piece of advice in Act 2, which is all about freedom, is be yourself. Being yourself is just an excuse for being comfortable. It's like when people say, I'm a perfectionist. All that is self-identification because you don't think your work is good enough in the first place. You put yourself in this box and you have to stay in there. Us at 18, we're not complete statues. Be honest about who you are, but don't get trapped by it. Now that is Act 2, all about freedom. The third and final act, this is advice around productivity. Therefore, the third trap, you guessed it, is the productivity trap. Once you realize you might be coasting through life, you know, in Act 2, using that freedom advice and getting too far from your goals, you kind of want to lock back in. And then all this productivity advice becomes tempting. And the main trap here is feeling like you're improving without actually doing anything. Now let's start with the main one. Wake up at 5 a.m. I'm going to have a cold shower, and then I'm going to have a coffee, and then I'm going to read for 60 minutes. And the best thing about this is the first hour when you wake up, 5 to 6 a.m., you're feeling unstoppable. Then the afternoon comes around. You start getting tired. You start doom scrolling. You start doing shit you don't normally do. By the end of the day, you've done less than usual. Looking disciplined is not the same as actually being disciplined. I got another analogy.
Get a load of this guy.
A shop opens at 5 a.m. Let's say it has no stock. And opening at 5 a.m. means no staff come too. No customers or anything. But it opens at 5 a.m. and that looks impressive. You could open at 8 a.m. and it will still do the same thing for you. So what I'd say is stop getting sucked into this aesthetic looking discipline. Do whatever works for you. The second piece of advice in Act 3 is when they say you should start investing early. This is the one piece of advice in this video that I fully agree with. I think investing as early as possible is amazing. Compound interest is real. And it's not even because you may earn a lot. It's the habits you set. Why'd you put it in this video then saying it's a trap? A lot of people get sucked into that money game. You start ignoring the real investments. Your skills, your health, your networking ability. You obsess over the seed and not the soil. Invest in your earning power first. When you can earn more, you can put more away. The next piece of advice in this productivity trap, work hard in silence. You think you're that guy now. It feels good. I'll be honest, I've done it myself sometimes. But in reality, you're just going more and more invisible and less people are going to start caring about you. Now, just to clarify, make sure you do the work, but don't hide everything either. So imagine a restaurant. It has the best chef in the world, but it has shit advertising. It doesn't have a menu, it doesn't have a sign, nobody knows that it exists, and they end up going somewhere else. Work hard in silence, but then let people see the proof. Say you've built a body and you've done the hard work. Go show this. And this will create connections and opportunities that you can't even fathom right now. So what I'm saying with Act 3, self-improvement itself can become procrastination. It's all about what you've actually done day to day and the habits you're building. Simple as that. The lesson for this video is when you actually listen to this advice, you can't take it face value. You've got to understand the actual principle underneath it. First, look at the principle. What is the advice actually trying to tell you? Then ask exactly what stage you're in as well. If this is advice for a millionaire and you're just a student, then good advice can be wrong for the stage of life you're in. Because as I've said, even your parents might have the wrong advice for you. And it's not because they don't care about you. They are the ones that care the most for you. But it's just how they've grown up. Then the third step is, what would this look like in real life? How would I actually apply this, and what is the actions that I can do with this advice? Then you've got to actually look at proof. How can I prove that I've actually built something? Your problem probably isn't a lack of advice. You're getting loads of it. All it is a lack of translation. Sometimes the bad advice is good advice explained badly. And us 18-year-olds, we follow that advice without even thinking about it. Ask, what is this advice teaching me? Now, remember what I said. Bad advice tells you what to do, but good advice tells you how to think. Thank you for watching, and love and guidance. See you in the next one.